One of the biggest reasons I got into personal training or just fitness as a career is because of the transformation that I was able to experience in my life and wanting others to experience that exact same mental, physical, spiritual transformation that I had undergone. Now, I went from a point in high school. I was 15. I was hyper insecure. I would have been insecure the rest of my life had I not gone to the gym. But at that point in my life, I was reaping what I sowed, partying, I was drinking, I was doing all the things I shouldn't have been doing. And, because of that, I behaved the way I did and I felt the way I felt. And it wasn't until I made the decision to go to the gym and transform my body physically that I was able to transform mentally, that I was able to transform spiritually and come to Christ. And really to be in the position nowadays where I can say I'm confidently working towards my full potential. At that point when I was in high school, I was probably playing at 10 or 15% of my potential. And I just wanted other people who were living in insecurity or who had lived in insecurity, weren't able to fully overcome it, experience overcoming their limiting beliefs and what was holding them back, whether it be about their appearance or just mentally, through the gym. Really, more than anything, I can't understand, it just boggles my mind why nowadays, if guys are insecure about the way they look, or maybe they just have other insecurities holding them back, and they're not getting jacked and they're not working towards their physical potential, they're missing out on so much, and they're going to live the rest of their lives experiencing that insecurity and living in fear. And I just can't accept that reality. So I want to do everything in my power to show guys how to take control of their physical health and have that be the momentum they need that bleeds into all other areas of their life. So really, without further ado, I want to break down my 4-step approach to fitness. Again, I like to keep things super simple. I've made a ton of videos on this topic, so if you haven't seen those, go check them out. But I like to keep things simple, and I want to explain this in a way that's user-friendly, that you guys can literally pick up and apply, whether you're a beginner, you're wanting to lose 100 pounds or gain 30 pounds, it really doesn't matter. Or maybe you're a bit more seasoned in lifting and you're just looking for some more insight to come at it from a new approach. I want to show you guys how I go about fitness and really the process I've used over the past 4 years of being a personal trainer, not only in my life, but in my clients' life, and seeing them make great transformations. So first things first, we're going to get this one out of the way because this word has been entirely overused, but that is mindset. I want to talk about mindset when it comes to lifting and when it comes to working towards any sort of fitness goals that you may have. Now, there's only 2 things with this, and they're very tangible because I think mindset, again, is super overused. But really, rule number 1 when it comes to having the right mindset to make a physical transformation is you have to understand at the end of the day, fitness is just going to be ones and zeros. Okay, it's just going to be ones and zeros, right? You're going to put a certain amount of inputs in and you're going to get a corresponding output. There's really no magic to it. Some people have genetic predispositions to build more muscle or to do this, but you can't really allow that to be a reality, at least in your own head, because it's always going to get in your way, and we'll get into that next. But it's always gonna give you, some sort of cop out or something that's going to hold you back from really working towards your physical potential. You have to play as if there's nothing holding you back and it's just completely black and white, and that's where you're going to see the most progress, right? Which leads me into number 2. Okay, and number 2 is, let's say right now you're watching this video and you're 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 pounds too heavy from where you'd like to be. Okay, so this is, I'm going to be a little mean here. Sorry guys, I got to call you out. Okay, this is you right here. Okay, you're a little bit heavier, you want to lose the weight. This could even be if you're skinny, right, and you want to get jacked and you want to look a certain way, or if you're too heavy and you want to get jacked, doesn't matter. Okay, and you want to get to here. Here's you in the future after you take action on your fitness goals. There's your biceps. We'll give them big calves because people like big calves. Okay, this is you, after you've taken action. The biggest thing to understand is, like I said, at the end of the day, it's just going to be ones and zeros. Okay, you cannot allow yourself to get in your own way. You cannot choose to believe something that just quite isn't true because you're scared of failure. You really just have to understand that you can't self-sabotage yourself in this process. And I'm not saying that because it's going to be easy. It's probably not going to be easy, but you have to understand that the game is simple at the end of the day. And my goal by the end of this video is that you have a simplified approach that you can take action on tomorrow, right? Take action on this because I guarantee you 5 years down the road will not regret the pain that you have to overcome now to take action towards your fitness goals. So that's all I want to say about mindset. Again, there's a certain amount of corresponding inputs to get to the output that you want, and you have to understand that you cannot get in your own way along this process. It's going to be simple as long as you let it be, and as long as you keep things very black and white. Okay, so that's all I want to say about mindset. Now let's get into the fun stuff. which is going to be training 101. Okay. How to train for your fitness goals. Okay. We'll say training 101. Now, there's a lot of controversy over this, and I want to clear everything up. Okay. And I'm going to do it right now. You ready? You have to be lifting if you want to reach your fitness goals. This is a must. You have to be resistance training in some capacity. Okay. I'm not going to get too into the science. If you want to see me break it down, I made another video on this topic, but you have to be lifting if you want to reach your fitness goals. Yes, cardio is great. Yes, movement's great. Activity, walks, it's all great. But if you want to achieve a certain goal, gaining 30 pounds again, or losing 100 pounds, and you want to stay there, more importantly, you have to be lifting weights. Okay. Have I said that enough? Cool. People do a lot of cardio and they'll lose a bunch of weight, but that's not weight they're going to keep off because they're not building the muscle required to raise their metabolism and keep that muscle off. Again, I made a whole video on this. Understand that you have to be lifting. Okay, there's going to be a ton of different modalities that are going to pull you in other ways. You're going to see a reel telling you need to do this kind of workout to lose weight. You're going to have Joe Rogan talking about his fancy new kettlebell workout. Just block out all that noise, get a gym membership, and understand that you have to be lifting to make progress. Okay, now you might be sitting there wondering, right? I've never been to the gym before. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to lift for my goals. Or maybe you're going to the gym and you're just not seeing any progress at all, and you want a more refined approach for your goals and in the gym. I'm going to show you both of those, okay? So what to understand when it comes to lifting at the gym. I'm going to give you the stupidest, simple approach that you'll ever need to work out, okay? For the first 20 minutes of your workout, for the first 20 minutes you show up to the gym, you must work on strength. Now, how do you work on strength? Okay, I want you guys to train in a 1 to 6 rep range, training heavy. Okay, so 1 to 6 reps. I'm gonna get low here and go heavy for the first 20 minutes. Okay, so for the first 20 minutes of your workout block, you're gonna spend working on strength. What does this look like in actionable, tangible advice? Okay, this is gonna be movements. I'll put it over here, like your squats. Okay, this is going to be movements like your chin-ups, like your bench press. Okay, it's going to be compound movements that are a little bit more difficult than just going to a machine or going to a cable or picking up some dumbbells. Okay, and they're meant to be that way because it's going to be the fastest way you're going to scale strength, which therefore means it's going to be the quickest way you're going to build more muscle and more muscle density, right? And achieve the look you want to look like. A lot of people want to lose a ton of weight, but they don't realize that if they just lose a bunch of weight, they're going to get skinny fat and they're not going to achieve the look they want, which is in my term, right? My terminology is looking jacked. But what it really means is just having a healthy toned body. And that's what you should be doing. Okay. So it's going to be things like your squats, your chin-ups, your bench presses, right? I'm running out of room. Think shoulder presses, think split squats, think RDLs, think deadlifts. It's going to be strength work in that capacity, right? And I broke this down in the other video, but I want to clarify what I mean by strength work, right? Because not everyone is going to be able to do a squat, right? Not everyone is going to be able to put a bar on their back and do a squat, and that's fine. But what you have to understand is the squat is a movement pattern that you can train, so we can actually regress this. So if you can't do a squat, cool. Guess what you can do? And I guarantee everyone can do this, is you can do a leg press. Super simple. Squat movement pattern. It's just a regression of the leg press, right? I don't think anyone watching this can't do a leg press, but if you can't, right, think of the next regression of this. It's going to be a box squat. I know this is super boring, but people like to cop out from doing strength work because they believe they're not capable. When in reality, that means even more so they need to work out because they should be able to go from a leg press and progress to a squat. Does that make sense? Cool. From that point, you spent 20 minutes on your strength work, going 1 to 6 reps, lifting heavy, right? And more importantly, adding weight week over week so you're actually building strength. From this point, for the next 40 minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to get a pump. You're going to get a pump. And really what I mean is you're going to train like a bodybuilder, doing accessory work and training until muscular failure. This is everyone's favorite part, right? This is when you get on things like machines, dumbbells, cables, it doesn't matter, but you're just going to train and you're going to get a pump. And this is why I say splits don't really matter, right? Just make sure you're hitting adequate muscle groups every single week. I like to do a bro split if I'm training 4 days a week. Anything more than that, I'll just do push-pull legs. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're doing this each gym session and you're training each muscle appropriately. But the difference between strength work and pump work, as I like to call it, right, is it's going to be in a higher rep range here. So this is going to be from 8 to 20 reps. Okay. This is going to be a little bit lighter, right? Not as heavy as your strength because you're going in a higher rep range, but it's still as heavy as possible. And you're going to do this for 40 minutes. So that is the breakdown of your gym routine. It should only take you 60 minutes, 20 minutes of strength, 40 minutes of doing the work you're probably already doing when you go to the gym. However, the biggest pitfall I see a lot of guys fall into is, especially the guys who are skinny fat, maybe they look decent with a shirt on. They look skinny, but when they take it off, they're fat because they have a high body fat percentage. The biggest mistake I see guys like that make is they do all pump work, or even skinny guys, if you're skinny and you want to bulk up, they do all pump work and they do absolutely zero strength work. Okay. So this cannot be divorced from each other. They have to go hand in hand, right? In terms of progressing towards your goals and looking the way you want to look, this is all you need. I'm not saying that's all you need for a healthy lifestyle. I still think cardio, I still think, sports and activity are necessary in a fully maximized physical potential, right? But at the very basis of it, if you want to lose weight, if you want to look a certain way, if you want to finally make progress in the gym and keep it, this is all you need to do when you go lift. Okay, you must be lifting in the gym, strength and pump work, and that's really it. Okay, next up, now that we have training covered and you know exactly what you're going to do at the gym next time you go, we're going to talk about nutrition, which is everyone's favorite subject to talk about. Okay, now there's a million different ways you can go about nutrition, right? A lot of people want to argue whether calories in, calories out works. I think it does. It's worked for me. It's worked for all my clients. Bodybuilders use it, and obviously they get in tremendous, well, not health wise, but they get in tremendous peak physical condition. Um, but calories in, calories out does work. I'm not going to sit here and go over calories. I would rather give you a quick start guide to nutrition that I can guarantee if you've done nothing with your nutrition and you're looking to lose the first 5 or 10 pounds, this is going to help you lose the first 5 or 10 pounds. And it's what I use, and it's what all my clients use. We follow a very specific framework. I really haven't seen this anywhere else, so I want to show that to you guys. Okay, first off, with nutrition, before we get into meals, before we get into protein, before we get into anything like that, I want to go over a few don'ts. We're not going to go over the do's. We'll get into the do's next, but I want to go over a few don'ts. Okay, so when it comes to, this whiteboard's about to tip over. Put some parentheses. Okay, it looks like it says donuts. It says don'ts. Okay, when it comes to a few don'ts with your nutrition. Okay, number one, cut out alcohol. And a lot of people groan. And if you absolutely have to drink, maybe you're trying to close a deal and you're working with a client and he like offers you a shot and you have to take it, just don't eat while you drink. But other than that, really analyze what is the source of you wanting to drink and try and cut that out of your life as much as possible and really get to the deep-seated root if this is such a pain point for you. Okay, but cutting out alcohol will have the greatest effect on your health for sure, but also on your weight loss, especially if you're a habitual drinker, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 times a week. This is going to have the biggest impact. Okay, from there, no eating out. Okay, I'm going to let you in on a secret. Restaurants really don't have your best interest in mind when it comes to your health. Okay, I do. That's why I'm making this video. So I'm going to tell you not to eat out because they're going to use seed oils. They're going to use a bunch of crap. They don't care about the calories. They don't care about what they're putting in the food. Watch any episode of Kitchen Nightmares. It's absolutely despicable. There's probably mold in the kitchen, expired ingredients, whatever it may be. They really don't care about what they're putting in your food. So it's important to understand not to eat out because they care more about the taste than what the food, the quality of the food is. Okay. If you absolutely have to, let's say you have a client dinner, you're a CEO, you're trying to close a huge deal, deal of a lifetime, and you absolutely have to eat out, avoid oils, ask them to not cook it in oil, no fried foods, and really just try and stay as strict as possible with the ingredients. Look for simple things like chicken and veggies, right? It's really hard to mess that up, and it's going to be the least damage possible. But you have to understand that every time you eat out, it's just damage control. You're not really progressing. It's kind of just like, how can I mitigate how much damage I'm about to do with my body, right? Second don't, processed foods. And I'll clarify what that means because that word gets thrown around a lot. Processed foods / seed oils. Okay, processed foods. When you're shopping, shop on the outside of the grocery store. Don't go in the aisles. That's when you're going to get all the crap. And you have to look at the ingredient list and make sure whatever food you're buying on the front of the label, it also reads on the ingredient label. A great way to go about this is try and keep your ingredients every single day under 20. And if you've never done that before, start looking at the ingredient labels and see what is actually in your food, because it's probably a lot different than what's advertised on the front. Seed oils, huge buzzword of 2024. You know, again, I don't want to get too much into detail with these. Just understand polyunsaturated fatty acids, seed oils are going to be super harmful for your health. Just like trans fats, you want to avoid trans fats. This is literally industrial waste. It's like what they should use in engine lubricant. Instead, they put it in your food. Just avoid it at all costs. It's gonna cause you a lot of trouble in the long run. So these are really my biggest don'ts when it comes to food. This will guarantee you right here, if you cut these out, you're going to probably lose 5 or 10 pounds just off the rip. And it's really what you should watch for if you're trying to eat healthier and live a healthier lifestyle if you're working towards your fitness goals. So those are a few of my food rules. Let's get into the actual framework for eating. Okay. And again, we'll talk about protein and all of that good stuff. I don't want to get too deep into calories because I want to keep this super simple. I don't want to give you guys a bunch of stuff to start out with, but follow this framework, and this is going to keep you, this is going to keep you fueled in the gym and keep you losing weight, no matter if you're just starting on your fitness journey or if you're kind of deeper into it and you're looking for a new way to think about nutrition. So this is the framework I follow every single day. Okay. I break my day up into 4 different meals. I have meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, and meal 4. Okay, so here's my meal framework every single day. And before we get into actually what each meal looks like, we're going to keep it super simple. I want you to understand how much protein you need to be eating to recover and fuel your muscles as you start lifting. Okay, so to understand your protein intake, take your body weight and multiply it by 1.2. Okay, that is going to be exactly how much protein you need in grams every single day. And to understand how to hit this number, because a lot of people complain, say, it's too hard to hit this number, it's way too much protein. It's not. That is, again, just a cop out to something that is deep seated that you need to figure out. Understand how many meals you're going to eat throughout the day, and then just divide that number by 4. And so let's say this number was, I don't know, let's say 160 for a clean number, right? That would mean each of my meals need to be 40 grams of protein. And the cool thing is, like I talked about earlier in this video, it's just going to be ones and zeros in terms of figuring out how to get 40 grams of protein per meal, because I promise you it's possible. That's probably, I don't even know how many ounces of chicken breast. You can look that up and figure out, and if you really need to hit your goals, it's not going to be awesome, or you can literally eat that much chicken breast. I recommend you don't. I'm going to show you a better way, but that's a super simple way to think about it, okay? A few other rules when it comes to these meals is they're broken up specifically, okay? Don't eat in between them. Don't break your fasting windows. You want to maintain that to maintain mental clarity, and you want to maintain that fat burning stimulus that you'll get from that. And just as a man, you'll always perform better if you're a little bit hungry. If you're stuffed, you're not going to be at your peak, mental clarity. You're going to feel too comfortable. As a man, you should be a little bit hungry every single day. You should kind of go to bed a little bit hungry, so that way you wake up with that hunger in you every single day. So those are just a few of the rules. The other rule is don't eat until you're stuffed. So a good rule of thumb to understand if you're actually hungry is, would you eat a boiled chicken breast? And if you wouldn't, you're just bored, you need to go do some push-ups or do something along those lines to get your heart rate up and kind of get your mind off eating. And you don't want to eat until you're stuffed, again, because you want to maintain a little bit of hunger. So that's the biggest thing you need to understand when it comes to protein throughout the day. In terms of how to actually hit that and what these meals look like, again, I have a few different rules with this. So it depends on when your training window is throughout the day. So when are you planning to go to the gym? For me, I plan to go to the gym. We'll put TW, training window. I like going to the gym between meal 1 and 2. I like going at 9 a.m. every single day. So therefore, this is when I'm going to time the most carbs throughout the day. So meal 1, you're going to wake up and you're going to have 2 servings protein. Okay. And you're going to have 1 serving carbs. Now, 2 servings of protein. Take 2 palm-sized servings of protein. Could be eggs, could be egg whites, could be chicken, could be steak, doesn't matter. You're going to have 2 palm-sized servings of your protein of choice, and then you're going to have that with 1 serving of carbs, which is just going to be 1 palmful of carbs, okay? This is when you're going to hydrate because you just woke up. You're going to have your coffee. You're going to get your caffeine in. Okay. But this is essentially the meal framework. For me, every single day, I have 3 eggs, I have egg whites, and then I have 4 pieces of sourdough and honey. Okay. That's enough carbs. That's enough protein. Keeps me light, keeps me ready to go to the gym. I'm timing my carbs here. That's going to benefit my training window the most. Okay. After I've just worked out, I'm the most glucose glycogen sensitive. I've just depleted all my glycogen from working out in the gym. This is again when I'm going to have the exact same meal as meal one. I'm going to have 2 servings protein and 1 serving of carbs. Okay, that's going to replenish my glycogen. That's when my body, is the most receptive to insulin, and that's when it's going to be the most beneficial to have carbs, and they're going to get utilized the most. They're going to get shuttled to your muscles. They're going to be used to repair, to fuel your pump, to fuel more muscle growth. So this is when you want to tighten your carbs just to utilize them better, so they're not hanging out in your body, and you don't fill your body full of this quick energy that's just sitting around, because that's when it's going to not necessarily turn into fat, but it's just a way to optimize your energy. Okay. Now, meal 3 looks different than meal 1 and 2, right? If your training window is over here, then that would be what meal 3 looked like. Okay. Meal 3, again, is going to be 2 servings of protein, 2 palm-sized servings, and then it's going to be 1 serving of fat. Now, what you should do when you're measuring your fats out, and it can be a little bit of carbs, but try not to mix your carbs and your fats too much, okay? What you're going to do when you measure out your fats is think about 4 fingers worth of fat, okay? And that's just because naturally it's going to be higher in calories, but this is a great end of the night. Maybe you want to have veggies, you want to have a big steak at the end of the day, and then you want to have some cheese with it, or you want to have some sort of fat along with it. A great way to cap off the night. I don't like having carbs too close to bedtime. And again, play around with this in experiment, but this is just a really good framework to follow. Come back to meal 3. This is going to be 3 hours before bedtime. So this meal is going to be had right before you go to bed. Meal 2 is going to be 3 hours after meal 1, and then meal 1 is going to be 3 hours after you wake up. But that is super important. Have it 3 hours after you wake up. Okay. Finally, meal 4. I like to keep this really simple. Okay. This is when I'll have a Greek yogurt bowl just to finish off the night. Again, I don't load it up, but just have some Greek yogurt. You're going to have a sweet tooth then. I do. It's going to be a great way to get some extra protein in. Greek yogurt, berries, a little bit higher on the fiber side, and then you're going to have some honey on top. Just a great way to cap off the evening. This is the framework that if you're not doing anything right now is great to follow if you want to lose your first 10 to 20 pounds. Eat like this every single day. Don't eat till you're full, right? Eat your protein, lift, and that is going to be the best way to guarantee progress. Training and nutrition are going to be the 2 ways that you're actually going to see the most progress, right? The last 3 are just kind of quality of life. They're still important, don't get me wrong, but if you had to just choose 2 and turn off this video right now, understand that lifting and nutrition are going to be the only 2 huge needle movers towards your goals. There's going to be no supplement that's going to save you, no biohack, no red light, no sauna, no nothing like that that's going to actually save you. It's going to be training and nutrition at the end of the day. Okay, now that we understand nutrition, I want to talk about briefly just some lifestyle optimization techniques. This is more of a be, do, have approach. This is how you're going to live the lifestyle and be the guy that does the things so you can have the body that you want. Okay, so when it comes to lifestyle optimization, okay, there's a few different rules that I like to follow that are super simple, really don't get in the way, and are honestly kind of the key to the next level of progress. So number 1, the biggest thing is sleep. A lot of people neglect this. A lot of people stay up late watching Netflix and they want to claim they're night owls or whatever. That's just not true. Okay, you need sleep. That is when the most fat burning is going to occur. That's when your growth hormone is going to be the highest, which is actively repairing your muscles that you broke down through your training. That's just when your body has the best chance to heal itself, right? Think about how many times you've gone to bed not feeling good, and then you woke up in the morning and you just feel fantastic. It's because your body literally repaired itself, and you're robbing yourself of that gift every time you stay up late, every time you don't have a bedtime, and every time you choose to scroll in bed instead of getting quality sleep. So rule number 1, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Okay. And you can perform off less sleep. That's fine. I prefer not to. I feel like crap the next day, and then you accumulate sleep debt. And so the best way to guarantee that you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, right, is set a consistent bedtime. Follow this bedtime every single day. You want to be that disciplined person. This is a great way you're going to build discipline and get better sleep and recover faster and make progress quicker. So setting a bedtime is great. Another way is if you're doom scrolling in bed, If you're doom scrolling in bed, just cut it out. Stop doing that. Audit why you need to look at your phone in bed. Number one, it's going to mess up your circadian rhythm. You're not going to get great sleep without getting into the science. But also, it's just going to keep you up later, and there's no need for it, right? So these are really the two biggest things you can do right now to get better sleep. And getting that 7 to 8 hours guarantees you're going to make more progress and be the person who achieves the body that they want. Again, what I'll say to this, I forgot to mention that getting the 7 to 8 hours of sleep actually promotes more fat loss and reduces cravings in the middle of the day because your body's going to work on cycles and rhythms through your hormones, right? When you wake up, your cortisol's the highest and your melatonin's low. When you go to bed, your melatonin's at its highest and your cortisol's low, which allows you to go to sleep, which is again why if you doom scroll, you're just bathing in cortisol, and so you're never going to fall asleep. That's why looking at your phone actually keeps you up. There's two other hormones that are important for fat loss and cravings, and specifically hunger cravings. Okay, it's leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is going to be the fat burning hormone, and ghrelin is going to be the hunger hormone. So when you don't get good sleep, that's why you crave junk food the next day, and you're actually not in a fat burning state the next day because your leptin's low and your ghrelin's high. Your cravings are here, and your fat burning capacity is here. That's a great reason just to get more sleep in and of itself. Even if you don't believe in any of what I just told you, that is a great reason to go to bed at an earlier time. Okay. The second thing I'll say with lifestyle, this will help you burn more calories every single day. Everyone says this, 10K steps every single day. Super simple way to promote more fat loss, stay moving, prevent injury, just get more blood flow throughout your body, especially through your low back, which a lot of people struggle with because it doesn't get blood flow like your arms or any other body part does. It actually requires you to move. 10K steps is just non-negotiable. If you're working towards something, it's another way to get active and burn more calories, right? Going along with that, last thing is seeing the sunset, the sunrise every single day. Kind of like we talked about with going to bed at a certain time, this is going to kickstart your circadian rhythm, get all your hormones in alignment, and you're just going to feel better. How much better do you feel when you go outside and you see the sunrise and you watch the sunset versus the days where you're just inside all day? Maybe you work an office job and you're under blue light all day, and the only time you see the sun is the 5-minute walk to your car after work, right? You wake up, you take a shower in blue light, you go straight to work, you're in the office, just like headlights over you all day. Get out in the sun, see the sunset. It's going to be super beneficial for your mental, but also for your hormones. So that is all there is to say about lifestyle. But I think it is super important just becoming the person. Again, understand training and nutrition are going to go a lot further, but it is important to live the lifestyle of the person you want to become. So really, that's all you need to achieve any fitness goal you want. Again, if you want to go through massive weight loss, if you're skinny fat and you need to recomp, or if you're skinny and you want to bulk up, or maybe you're already going to the gym and those are just some new things for you. Again, it's going to come down to your mindset. How committed are you to the process? Do you understand that you need to get out of your own way? Do you understand the inputs necessary to get to your goal? Well, you should after this video because it's going to come down to your training and your nutrition, two biggest needle movers throughout the process. And then finally, the lifestyle. How can you live like the person you want to become? That's really all you need to know in terms of getting jacked. It's the process I've kind of boiled everything down to after trying everything under the sun. So I hope you guys found some value in this. Go check out my other videos if you want a more in-depth approach to how to actually go about this. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe.